Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And welcome back to Movies TV Mad Live. It is Saturday night. Saturday night. Saturday night. We have two viewers. I'm going to be cancelled. A bit like Batwoman and Legends of Tomorrow. We have one viewer now, even worse. We have 3 likes. We have a poll. Do we want timely commentary in superhero movies? No, I don't want it. Yes, 67%. No, 33%. We have a measly 6 votes on that poll. Trill J has been on the chat early. Trill J, I'm here for it being good, at least because that's why I want DC to be consistent with good movies. Every movie can't be great, but still make money. This is a win for me, but they have to do better. Well, as a consumer, Trill J, I couldn't give a shit about money. I want to see good content. Trill J, also, after this movie, Ben's Batman needs to be pushed to the side. You only need 2 Batman. That's causing too much confusion. If he isn't going to be the DCEU Bat, don't cameo him. He's not cameoing in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Michael Keaton's Batman is my friend. Trill J, the studio needs to keep up with the news of what's going on in the DCEU. When they make these movies, I'm sure they knew Ben would be lost in time in the Flash movie. So, yeah, basically, we are hearing from test screenings that there's going to be a zombie apocalypse in Atlantis. And of course, basically there's a virus. You know, we all know what the timely commentary is about this. I'm hearing this is just Jason Momoa's lame idea. I don't like it. I don't want timely commentary in my DCEU movies. I want the DCEU to be a place where I can escape to. Anyway, a very good evening. It's normally dead on a Saturday night. I expect it to be dead tonight. I will stay here for about an hour. If it gets a bit more lively, I might stay for longer. We'll see what happens. Comment. Without your live comments, there's no point being here. So get chatting. Let's do this. I am your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. They're all very, very satisfied by me. You can thank me later for keeping your relationships going. So yes, very good evening to you. I've got the S shield on my chest, so I'm doing very, very well. Thank you very much. We've also got John Watts, who apparently doesn't want to make superhero movies unless it's Spider-Man. Not suspicious at all. No, everything's cool. They parted as friends, a bit like Scott Derrickson and Kevin Feige did. Children, drain in the symbol. I will. I will. Yeah, we all know what the zombie virus apocalypse is all about. It's about COVID. It's about commentary. Boring. Put the kettle on. They just can't help themselves. What are they going to do on Atlantis, right? Some people will want vaccines and some people won't. Some people want to wear masks and some people won't. Is that what we're going to do here? Really? Really extreme left Hollywood? Can't you leave it alone? Can't you let us escape? What is wrong with you? Aquaman and the Lost Walking Dead. So lots of leaks coming from that film. Test audience is saying it's not great, but it's good. Trill J, but look, why would they put a zombie apocalypse in the film? Aquaman at that, what were they thinking? Well, what they're thinking is timely commentary about the COVID pandemic. That's why this is how these extremists work. So they can make hateful commentary against people who may not believe in the virus, who may not believe in the real pandemic. Because that's what it's about for these people. It's gaslighting constantly. Let's see. We'll see what kind of film it is. Jason Momoa has co-wrote this movie. I'm convinced that this zombie thing is his idea. It could only be by a lame non-storyteller coming up with this idea. I think they were allowed to do whatever they wanted with this film. And sometimes when you can do whatever you want, maybe you shouldn't do whatever you want. Trill J, yeah, not feeling it now, no mine. Timely commentary, I'm not interested. Even though the chat believes in timely commentary, I don't. I don't want to see this commentary. I don't want to see timely commentary. Now, in Man of Steel, there's better timely commentary about environmental issues, using Krypton and Earth as environmental commentary. And that was done not so much on the nose. And it worked because David Goyer is actually a good writer. As I keep on saying, these people are creatively bankrupt. They're obsessed with their propaganda. Trilogy, Multiverse of Madness about to destroy this film. Well, obviously they're not in direct competition, so it's irrelevant. But yes, it's a Marvel film. It's going to do well. It's a nice, neat 2 hours. So it's going to be fast-paced, lots of VFX, lots of cameos. People are going to be very satisfied with it, I am sure. I can't control Marvel being more popular than DC. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it, but at least try. Try. Stop making stupid mistakes that hold you out for criticism. You know, they're promoting a Flash movie with Batman because they can't use their nut boy lead actor as marketing. So it's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And people are telling me it was worse with Snyder. Nah. At least he had a vision. At least he had an identity. Whether you like that vision or identity, at least he had a plan. He had a plan. These people don't have any plan. These people are as planned as a slob that wakes up in the morning with his clothes all over the fucking floor. Trilogy, it's not about the popularity, it's about competition between films. No, there's no competition between Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and a film that comes out next week. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom comes out next year. It is irrelevant, Trilogy. It's certainly irrelevant to me, right? I stand the DCEU. I am not in competition with the MCU. I want to see, first and foremost, a great franchise with great movies, with great stories. If you actually do that, then you actually are able to compete. So it's irrelevant. To Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, you know, this film coming out next week is irrelevant. I know people are obsessed with this MCU versus the DCEU. There's no competition anyway. They started first. They were well ahead of the ball. And, you know, the DCEU has been digging themselves a fucking grave from day one. And it's sad because the DCEU actually has great movies. Trilogy, but I'm still glad it's a good movie. It may not be bad at all. It may not be bad. I just don't want timely commentary in my superhero movies. I'm not interested. These people are obsessed. But yes, I'm still excited for the movie. I'm sure it will look brilliant. It will be brilliant. But yeah. And the MCU are doing, they're bringing in Neymar in Black Panther 2 as well. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, if you want to call Black Panther competition for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, absolutely, yeah. Neymar is direct competition. We have 7 viewers. We have 4 likes. A very good evening, everyone. Why don't you come and comment? I don't bite. I shout a lot. I seem worse than I actually am. So come and say hello. Trilogy, well, we all know the MCU is finished. Nothing they can do now. Is it finished, though? Is it? Really? They're still going to make over $1 billion on this next film, then the next film, then the next film. They're not finished compared to the DCEU, are they? We will have to wait till May 18th for the WB Discovery up front to see what's going on. Anyone holding any hope for the future of Arrowverse, they haven't got a future. 2 more shows cancelled. They've literally got 2 more shows going for the next season. And of course, Gotham Knights, which hasn't been given a series order yet. But I always said it was either Batwoman or Gotham Knights. I've been proven right again. Georgia, it's not about money, it's about the enjoyment. We're never going to enjoy it as much as we did up until 2018. Unfortunately, movies have changed now. It's about the politics, it's about the message. So, very hard to enjoy most movies today. There's very few good movies being made now, in my opinion, Trill J. Most of them are mid. Where is the DCEU, MCU, or the Sony universe? I mean, even Avatar. I saw the first Avatar film I saw as a very mid movie. I kind of enjoyed it and thought it was okay. But it was all about the technology, not about a great story or a great film. Now, I like the commentary in that film. And the commentary in Avatar is really looking at the analogy of the Empire invading the Americas, isn't it? Now, that's good commentary. That's something I'm passionate about. This is Movies TV Mad Live. Get involved, comment, smash the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. If you have subscribed, make sure you are still subscribed so you don't miss a thing, so you don't miss the breaking news every morning on the DCEU Daily. As I come in here updating you with what's going on. My theories, my gut feelings, yep. My bullshit meter is pretty good. Reno Jack, good day, Mick. Checking in while can before work stuff starts, sir. Good evening to you, Reno Jack. Truly, so Mick, what happens if everyone loves the Flash film, even knowing Superman won't be around for a while? Well, we don't know how true that is. You see, they could be replacing Henry Cavill's Superman with another Superman. So we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, I can't control whether a film's successful or not. I always want DC films to be successful. So if it's successful, good. I want it to be successful. But it's not going to be very successful if there's no Superman in the future. So they're going to have to sort that one out. I don't know what their plans are. We'll have to wait and see. At the moment, we're talking about innuendo and rumor. I suspect they're going to introduce a new Superman. If there's no Superman, that will be a problem. That will affect the movie's box office. And of course, Ezra Miller is a problem as well. We're going to have to wait and see what happens here. They're going to need more than Michael Keaton's Batman for that film to be successful. We will have to wait and see what people think. The consumer will be the bosses of if that film's successful or not. And it's not a foregone conclusion either way. Another prediction for you. Netflix will be bankrupt within 6 months. You heard it here first. Netflix will be bankrupt within 6 months. There you go. Trill J, do you still believe DC will win the year? I thought when they were going to have the 4 movies being released in 2022 this year, Trill J, I was very confident at least they had a fighting chance. It was never a foregone conclusion. But when you've got when you've got a year when your franchise has got the Batman out, Black Adam out, and the Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and the Flash movie out, and at the time I thought maybe even Batgirl could be the 5th movie coming out, I was very excited and confident that they could win the year. It's very difficult for them now. Doctor Strange will make a lot of money. The rest of the MCU movies will make money this year, including the Disney Plus stuff. So it's going to be very hard for DC to win the year. It's very unlikely now after everything they've done, the Amber Heard situation, the Ezra Miller situation. The controversies within the Flash movie as well. I can't see DC winning the year. But wouldn't it be funny if League of Super Pets made the most money out of all the movies? Bat Super, I want Sony to do a trilogy for Spider-Man and a trilogy for Spider-Man 2099, set in the same universe instead of releasing Spider-Man 1 to 3 and then moving over to Spider-Man 2099. They should release Bat Super, Spider-Man Part 1, then Spider-Man 2099 Part 1, then go back to Spider-Man Part 2, then back to Spider-Man 2099 Part 2, etc. Wow! Seems confusing, but then I don't know what 2099 Spider-Man is. Trilogy, Bat Super, same. I love how dark Sony likes to go, but they are trying to catch Disney attention too much. It's a bit of a mess right now because the Sony Marvel Universe and the MCU are actually supposed to be connected, but they keep on changing their minds about that. They've obviously announced Venom 3. I mean, I like the first two movies because they get the relationship between Eddie and Venom right. The rest of it they get wrong, but that's the most important. That's the heart of both the movies, Eddie and Venom. And Tom really does a great job with that. Tom Hardy does a great job with that. But they're not the greatest superhero movies ever. And they're not really supposed to be. Imagine if Amber Heard becomes a zombie in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I know, right? I know. It's crazy. Trilogy, Sony needs to make Miles Morales and boom, they make $1 billion. They should have introduced him in No Way Home in the post-credits scene. But no. Why aren't they doing it? Because the MCU don't own him. They don't own any of the Spider-Man characters. So they can't introduce him. I think if Feige did have ownership of Morales, he'd definitely be involved. Jesus, if Feige's given more shout-outs and cameos to Superman than DC has. That's how great Feige is. Bat Super, it is confusing. It's kind of a mystery where both trilogies sit in the same timeline, but like 80 years apart. I see both trilogies as part of the same larger story. Kind of a mystery Spider-Man story. It would be interesting. I don't know if these deadheads would actually understand it, but it certainly sounds interesting and exciting. Bat Super. Do you remember when they were going to do that Superman trilogy years ago? Where Superman's in the future and he's like the only person left on Earth or something. I forgot what they were going to do and I forgot who was going to do it, but it sounded really interesting. But it's interesting, so they decided not to do it. Trilogy, Bat Super is not the same timeline. Marvel has a multiverse now. Bat Super, Trilogy, I hope they choose to do their own thing instead of chasing Disney. They have potential. Everyone's chasing Disney. Unfortunately, the best way to chase Disney is not to do what they're doing. Certainly nobody's chasing Disney Star Wars, for example. Yep, Netflix will be bankrupt in 6 months. They're in so much trouble. They're in more trouble than the CW. Bat Super, yeah, I think it would be controversial to do a Spider-Man like that. I think the reception would be mixed. Yes, because people don't like anything different. They just want the usual gags, laughs, CGI, end of film. Chill J, Bat Super, yeah, I'm over the MCU. Matt Reeves is the only director, in my opinion, who will actually give you what the comics look like on the page. That is very true. Bat Super, Trilogy, in my version, it is in the same universe. Fair enough. Bit of fan fiction. You can make your own decisions with your fan fiction. Nothing wrong with that, my friend. Exactly what I do. That's the beauty of being your own boss, being your own writer, deciding the fate of these characters that you love. It's great. It will never be in a film, but you can do it. Trill J, Bat Super. Oh, nice. Reno Jack just finished revisiting Batman Zero Year, an interesting take on Batman's early days in the New 52. Definitely see some aspects in that Reeves took for the film. Trill J, I was watching the Batman with my cousin yesterday and he said why Batman looks like that. I had to explain he has to wear eyeliner to hide his face behind the mask. Trill J, Reno Jack, I've been watching the Batman a lot. I love the grounded year one feel. Yep, it's very good. It's very awesome. It's very loyal and faithful to the source material, very rare in live action CBMs these days. So it was good to see, very refreshing as well. Alex, where would rank the Batman next to all the Batman movies? Woof! That's not easy, is it, Alex? What do I do? What do I do? I think I've done it before. I've done it a billion times. I really don't know, my friend. I love Batman Begins. I love Batman Returns. At the moment, I think the Batman's third in my top three. Batman Begins at the top. Batman Returns second. That's how I see it right now. I'm sure I will change my mind yet again. Trill J, where is everyone today? You all type in the chat. But basically, I've noticed since I defeated all the trolls, the views are lower. So there was probably a lot of fake accounts in here. That's why I seem to be more popular than I really was. But we can make it work. We can make it work. And Saturdays are notoriously dead anyway. Not a busy night for me, not ever. Oh, the no's are creeping up. Do we want timely commentary in superhero movies? Yes, 60%. No, 40%. Trill J, where is everyone? I read that. Reno Jack, Trill J, super grounded and realistic. I also love that Batman doesn't necessarily win. He has to learn through his defeat. Alex, Jude the Fourth is in exile. I don't really want to talk about non-entities, Alex. Trill J, Alex, I put the Batman first because it's what the comics look like, and I finally got who I saw Batman as in the comics. A gothic brooding billionaire never loved Hal. They never explain. He's a bit off. Yeah, there's that bit in the Batman when he comes down for breakfast and the sunlight's getting in his eyes. I love it. That was so accurate to what Batman is. I think many Batman stans would go with the Batman, and that's fair enough. Just like most Superman stands put Superman the movie over Man of Steel. Trill J. Reno Jack. Yes, Batman is not supposed to win every moment. He can't be everywhere. He has to choose which place he can make the most impact, which is pretty much what he says in his opening narration. And of course, it's difficult now because we've got no DC movies till the end of the year. Children, I love the part in the Superman movie where the woman says, didn't I tell you stop telling lies, and slaps the little girl. They should pay homage to that in The Flash. Yeah, they're not going to do that because it's not very politically correct. You'd never get that happening now. That was the dumb thing for people to hit their kids back then, of course. Back now it's not acceptable. So it wouldn't be a thing. Back then, it was kind of funny. Didn't I tell you to stop telling lies? And I love the innuendo between Superman and Lois on the interview on the balcony. Brilliant. That Superman movie is the Don. How they pulled it off in the 70s is still a sensational achievement. It would have been easier for them to make a Batman movie. Children, I may watch it later. Is it on HBO Max? I think it is, yeah. I've got so many copies. I've got the 3-hour copy. I've got the original copy. I've got the expanded edition. They released in 2000. I've got the Donner cut of Superman 2. I'm pretty obsessed with that film. It's the first film I ever saw, you see, so very important to me. Children, I love extended cuts. Like to see the director's vision. Yeah, it's not really the director's vision. It's just they picked up some deleted scenes and put them in the movie, really. But there's the bit in Superman the movie which they originally cut out when Superman talks to Jor-El after he goes around Metropolis and he saves Lois and does a few other things. So that's pretty cool to see. Reno Jack, all of Reeves' Superman films are on HBO Max. Cool. I don't have access to it, but I have all his films anyway. But yeah, that's cool that you guys have got access to it. Bat Super, do you think there is a chance to get the Batman 2 by 2025? I think it will be released by the end of 2024, 2025. I think that's the kind of year frame we're looking at, time frame. I don't really see it coming at the same time in 2024. This guy takes his time. Because they've still got to do the Penguin. Obviously, he's not directing the Penguin stuff. He's not directing Arkham. But it'll be interesting when he finishes the script, when he starts shooting. But it's going to be a while because he does like to take his time and get it right. And that's okay. That's what we want him to do. Carl Williams, is timely commentary like deleted scenes? No. It means there's commentary on real world issues. So, in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, there's going to be a pandemic. There's going to be a virus, a zombie apocalypse on Atlantis. This is supposed to shadow the COVID pandemic. I am not happy about it. Reno Jack, it's a bummer you can't get HBO Max, Mick. They have a lot of good content, not just DC, but many great films also. Well, here's the problem I've got. It's not just about getting a fake DNS server, because you have to have actual bank details from America. You have to have an address in America. It's very difficult to do. It's complicated. It's not that easy. The only way I would have access is to have somebody's, existing account. That's the only way I can do it. So unfortunately, I don't have access, which is very frustrating. Trill J, Bat Super, I'll be here before then. I just hope Matt ramps up the action. The studio lied a little with those trailers. The movie is a really good slow burn, but we don't go to the cinema to watch that. Well, come on. We went to the cinema. Well, I went to the cinema to see Dead Ringers, Dead Poets Society. It doesn't have to be about action. I know these days it's about cinematography and action, but you can actually go to see a film with 100% dialogue. John, I prefer Superman 2 to the first one because Superman 2 has a proper and more threatening villains. I prefer the first one. I like, Superman 2, John, is groundbreaking. It's the first superhero supervillain fight without any CGI. It was freaking amazing. Reno Jack, well, I didn't know that was a storyline in the new Aquaman. That sounds terrible. Well, you can thank Jason Momoa. It's his idea. Never let actors interfere with your storytelling. They keep on fucking themselves up. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. I think people are going to mock it. It'll certainly look scary. Because one is good at one thing. He's good at horror. True, yeah, I understand, but I still a hero film. The Batman is the best Batman film, but no, Nolan knew you still had to put the action elements in the film. Yet Nolan's action is fantastic. His Batman Begins action, that's why it's my favourite movie. Because it's got a balance. It's got the emotion. It's got the dialogue. It's got great performances. But yes, it doesn't forget that it needs action. Reeves isn't really particularly interested in the action. He just gave you the Batmobile thing because he said, oh shit, I better put some action in it. Reno Jack, it's so cringe to me that so many modern comedians try to make pandemic jokes and movies doing storylines parallel to it. Yes, extreme left propaganda merchant comedians thinking they're funny. And it's always aimed at people who don't believe in the vaccine, who, I'm not saying that's me, but it's just gaslighting. Carl Williams, thanks for clarifying that for me. I hope James Wan deliver with this movie. He hasn't let me down with a movie yet. Bat Super Trilogy, I think they will amp up the action a little, but it won't be a drastic difference. No, I don't think. I think you're right. I agree with Bat Super there. This is how this guy wants to do these movies. And it's amazing, really, with such lack of action, that the movie still made just under 800 million. It's pretty amazing. I've got a feeling that everyone thinks I'm talking about deleted scenes in my poll. Don't. It didn't bother me, the lack of action. I found it an interesting story. So I was captivated by the story. So I wasn't saying I need more action. For some people, it's really important. I can understand that. I can concede that point. This is Movies TV Mad Live. I'm Mick. Welcome to the stream. Reno Jack, I knew what your poll meant and I voted twice for no. Good. Because I don't want no timely commentary in my Star Wars or my superhero movies. But these SJWs have actually weaponized COVID-19 as well. Trill J, Bat Super, I know, but you see the thing it is, he's Batman. He's supposed to be out every night, so he lied a bit. If you are out every night, you're fighting every single night. That's true. John, Kneel Before Zod is one of the best lines in a superhero movie ever. Should I do it? Should I do it? Right, let me get ready. Kneel before Zod! No. Bow before Zod. You are not the president. Nobody who leads so many could possibly kneel so quickly. I am the one I am the one they are protecting. I'll kneel before you if it will save lives. But there will be one man on this planet who will never kneel to you. Who is this imbecile? You'll find out, General. Oh, God. Zod. Love it. Love it. Kneel before Zod, yeah. It's iconic. It's iconic. And Terence Stamp spoke about his whole mentality towards the character, and he said he wanted his fellow actors, his supervillains, to be subservient to him. There's actually a great bit about Jack O'Halloran, who played Non. I'll tell you about it in a minute. It's very funny. Triljo, you'll see I've learned to pick up on when directors lie. Just like he's saying Joker is not yet Joker, but he's going to be in the next film. I think me and Mick are similar when seeing BS. Oh, yeah, Triljo. They lie a lot, like the fact that Joker might not be in the sequel, blah, 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 blah. He's not there because it's about, you know, saying he's part of the future. Look, mate, you filmed 2 fucking sequences of Joker. You went to the trouble of putting all that fucking makeup on him. He's your Joker. He's involved. Stop it. Yeah, so basically Terence Stamp, who played Zod, he noticed that Jack, who played Non, the mute one, was all like lazy. He wasn't coming into the he wasn't coming in so they could start shooting. Great guy, they got on, and everyone goes, no. Terence Stamp, who played Zod, goes, where's Jack? And Terence Stamp noticed that everyone was too intimidated. Say, Jack, get your fucking ass here. So in his loud Zod voice, Terence Stamp goes, Jack, get your ass here now and kneel before Zod. Love it. Bat Super Triljo, the true, but I think he was too focused on the Riddler case. Sure, they could weave more action into it. Maybe he encounters more criminals on the next case. It's basically based on 7. There's not much action in 7 either. Triljo's right. You do need some action in a Batman movie. Manuel Mayo, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker and the Batman should have been connected since we are getting Joker 2 and adding another new Joker is overexposure. Well, this is the problem and issue with auteur directors, my friend. They've got their own ideas, their own vision. I don't think Joaquin Phoenix would ever have been involved in that world either. It's difficult with these guys. They have their own ideas. John, Mick, can we clarify this once and for all? Did Superman kill Zod? In Superman 2, the only people, my friend, who think that are Snyder fan propaganda merchants. I'm a Snyder fan. I want to restore the Snyderverse, but I don't fucking lie about something I love, right? No, nobody killed the 3 villains from Krypton. He literally just chucked them down the chute, and probably in the end, he probably dumped them in the Phantom Zone again using a crystal. They should have showed that, but there's no evidence that Superman actually killed them. That means Lois Lane killed Ursa. You see the problem with that? It's propaganda. It's bullshit for these Snyder fans because they're obsessed with attacking something that's so loved, and they can't handle the fact that their thing isn't as loved as the original Superman movies. Reno Jack, I don't understand people saying there was no action in the Batman. Not every scene was mindless fighting, but the action scenes were presented well and spread out so that they all matter. Children, Bat Super, yes, because it's all a crime Batman is trying to solve. And Rob's Batman fights the best. If you've noticed, he really started doing more skilled Batman things towards the end, and I loved it. Yeah, listen, I don't think the lack of action is a problem. This was what people said about Superman Returns, not enough action. So they made Snyder add even more action to make up for it in Man of Steel. Then what happened? Too much action. They said there was too much action and they didn't like the destruction. So you can never win, can you? It's a bit like Superman Returns, Lois Lane, Kate Bosworth, too young. And then they said Amy Adams, Lois Lane, was too old. You can never please everyone. There's always going to be people unhappy. And that is movie fandom, unfortunately. Smash the like button and welcome to the live stream. It's a quiet night tonight, but we're getting some good people talking, discussing stuff. So it's still cool. So I'm still going to be here for at least another 20 minutes. So make the most of it. We have 16 votes on my poll. Do we want timely commentary in superhero movies? Yes, 62%. Wrong. No, 38%. Come on, no. Catch up. Reno Jack, I have never understood people who say a film has too much dialogue. Many of Tarantino's films have a lot of dialogue. It builds character and story. Yeah, I think what Triple J's saying, this is a Batman movie. He is a kind of action hero. He is kind of, you do need the action in those films. I think that's what he's saying. It didn't bother me, Reno Jack, but it does bother other people. Me, it's not a big deal. Triple J, Reno Jack, I understand my case is the fact that trailers portray different. Don't hype me up with all the scenes to cut a lot of it and then changes how the film looks a bit. By the way, love 4K cut. Yeah, this is the problem. They do this in trailers all the time, especially WB. They did it with Superman Returns as well. You get all these bits, you get excited, and then you never see them. That happened with Justice League as well, didn't it? They showed us in the trailer, they showed us the bit when Superman or Clark goes to Lois. I take it it's a yes. And Lois goes, what? He goes, the ring. Now, you see that in the Snyder Cut, but that was actually plugged for Justice League. So when you don't see that, people think, what the fuck? Why did you advertise that? Reno Jack, I didn't even mean it towards Trill J. I encounter a lot of people like this in every movie and does not have much action. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I didn't mean it towards Trill J. This is from Reno Jack. Jay, I encounter a lot of people like this in everyday conversation when discussing films. John, Sherlock Holmes with Jude Law is a great movie and does not have much action. Yes, but John, you don't expect lots of action in a Sherlock Holmes story, do you now? That's the difference. I also think that Jude Law is a great Dumbledore, by the way. Very impressed with his Dumbledore. You've literally got three great actors as Dumbledore. You've got Richard Harris, Michael Gambon, and then you've got Jude Law. I mean, you've got to give it to them. That's brilliant. That's iconic. I don't even hate the Fantastic Beasts movies. Bat Super Trilogy, he will be more experienced in the next film. I think we will see him do some real cool stuff. I agree. Trilogy, Reno Jack, I didn't take it as an offense. I love the Batman, I think, more than any DC fan right now. I watch the trailers every day for 2 years. I actually pretty much lived this movie. John, do you think we will ever get Sherlock Holmes 3? Maybe. I would like that to happen because Robert Downey Jr. is not really doing anything that interesting right now. He's producing Sweet Tooth. He's doing a couple of things. I think he wanted a rest after the MCU because it was hard work for him because it wasn't just the Iron Man films he was involved in. He literally cameoed nearly in every film. So I think he's taking a break. I think there is an opportunity to do a third movie. I hope they do because it's great. Reno Jack, Trilogy, absolutely. I was watching any piece of content to hype it up that I could. Honestly, having Batman so heavy in my algorithm is what led me to Mix Channel. Thank God for that. I'm a lucky guy. But the thing is as well, one of the things I like about the Batman, and critics didn't like it so much, is that he's more Batman than Bruce Wayne. That's brilliant. I come into the movie to see Batman anyway. So it's cool. Children, when you live something for 2 years, you take pride in it. I love this film, but as a fan, I have to say much parts, so the director makes an even better sequel. He will. This is Matt Reeves. He's not fucking about 2 spin-offs, a sequel. It's exciting. I think you're all going to be very, very happy. I trust Matt Reeves to do the right things. I really, really do. I don't have any issue with that. Trill J, Rank Jack. Yes, same. I saw when he said he's seen it, and I was here every day since. Yeah, you were the believers. There was I got a lot of shit for doing a video about saying I've seen the movie. I got a lot of shit for not spoiling it. I was getting accused of being a liar because I wouldn't say about what happened in the film because I didn't want to spoil it for people, right? But if I did spoil it, then people would have hated me anyway, right? Again, you can't win. I did see the fucking film. It was great. I loved it. Reno Jack Trilogy, the sequel will not only be great, but it will also make the first one age even better. Yes, it's going to be great. I want it to make $2 billion. I want people to love it. It's Matt Reeves. It's going to be great. I wish Matt Reeves was running the entire DC live action universe. Trilogy. So, Mick, tell me a little bit about some scenes you've seen that wasn't in the final cut. Do you know what? I can't even remember now. There wasn't much difference. I think there may have been a couple of differences, a couple of different angles, Trilogy, but there wasn't much difference to what I saw, what you saw, really. I didn't see the Joker stuff. So the Joker thing wasn't even there. Even the one in the movie now. John, did you hear that Andrew Garfield is taking a break from acting? Yes, I think it's hilarious when you've got millionaire actors talking about taking a break. But yeah, he'll be back. He'll be making a movie in the next few months, I'm sure. Trilogy, yeah, I want the next one. I want the next one to make $2 billion too. Yes, it would be awesome. I'm sure there'll be lots of deleted scenes in the physical home release of the Batman 2. Yes, Andrew Garfield is taking a break. Imagine being Grant Gustin. You've been working on The Flash for nearly 9 years without a break. Think about that for a minute. 20 episodes a fucking year. Imagine Kiefer Sutherland. He was making 24 episodes of 24 a year. Literally every episode of that series was like a fucking movie. Trilogy, John heard that I think he's lying. They're probably talking to him about Spider-Man 3 right now. Wouldn't surprise me. Reno Jack, seeing how they shot the Batman with all the digital screens, making the background was so cool, and he had no idea, makes me respect the film even more. It's a well-made movie, no issue. I think some people have tried to criticize some of the VFX in that film as well, like they did with No Way Home. I didn't see any issue with it, but this is the internet. This is fandoms. They always try and find something. It's sad, really. It's very, very sad. That's super. Within the next 2 months, I'm sure Andrew Garfield will have another role. Yep. Trilogy, yes, the Batman better win an Oscar. Yeah, this is an interesting situation. Let's see what happens with this movie. Because unfortunately, it's not up to us. Now, hopefully they have another fan award like they had for, like the one the Snyder Cut won. So hopefully we got an opportunity to vote on that at the very least. But you see, the only thing I'm waiting for is to own the Batman. I can't own the Batman right now. I want to watch it whenever I want, right? Because I can't fucking afford to keep on renting it. I mean, it's 15 fucking quid, euros or whatever a go. It's expensive. Welcome to Movies TV Mad Live. We have 5 viewers for now, 7 likes. Like the stream, please. Please subscribe. Check out my poll. Do we want timely commentary in superhero movies? I'm surprised Yes is winning. Trilogy, yeah, I can't wait for these deleted scenes. People are going to go crazy. Yes, it's going to be very exciting. Hopefully we get some commentary as well. Carl Williams, did you say you like Fantastic Beasts 3? I saw the first 2 and I like them very much, despite what people said. Yes, I like the third one. I like all three movies. There's a bit in number 2 that doesn't make kind of narrative sense, but apart from that, it's a pretty good movie. Look, you've got to make films that are in the same fucking franchise as Harry Potter. It's fucking difficult, and prequels, that's an even harder thing to do. But it all looks great. Hogwarts still looks like Hogwarts. The world still looks like that world. It's great. I love this franchise. Keep on making more movies. Yeah, I did like number 3. I thought it was a very good film. And I love Jude Law as Dumbledore. Reno Jack, modern commentary is the most lowest common denominator material to have in a film, and further proves the lack of original ideas in modern Hollywood. Yes, well done, Reno Jack. That's exactly my point, right? If you have to fucking commentate about a pandemic that's like 5 minutes old, it's not like the Second World War or things that happened 20, 30 years ago, or even the environment. The environment's important because if we don't look after our planet, we're all going to fucking die. I get it. That's why I appreciate Man of Steel talking about those issues. But this, all it is to gaslight and to mock people who didn't obey the rules or didn't do this. Leave it alone. It's not going to make a difference, right? Yeah, mainstream Shield critics will love you for it, but ultimately the fans will hate you for it. Let's hope they at least pull off the movie. Modern commentary is dumb. You're right. And I agree with you. Reno Jack, about to head out for work for the afternoon. Have a great one, Mick. Thank you. And all, I don't care how many people are in these chats. Many great conversations. Absolutely. We've only got a handful of people in the chat, and the chat's flowing. I keep on talking. It's going well. I'm happy. I never thought I'd be a successful YouTuber anyway, so it really doesn't matter. I never said I was successful, so it doesn't matter. Children, in all honesty, though, to be totally honest, I think we all really wanted to see the raw cut of the Batman that we saw in the teaser trailer. I don't think the CGI they added in on some scenes helped much. I didn't even notice CGI in the film. That's how much I wasn't looking for it. I didn't notice any bad CGI in the film. I didn't see any issues with it. So I'm happy with the entirety of the movie. There's nothing in the movie I don't like personally. For a 3-hour movie, a near 3-hour movie, it flows beautiful. So, yeah, I'm happy with the movie, and I don't think they did anything wrong or anything bad. I thought Selena was portrayed brilliant. Batman, Bruce, Alfred was great, especially the scene in the hospital was beautiful. Fucking cried. Brilliant. It's all brilliant, and I loved it. I'm not a CGI expert. I don't know about the technology. I mean, I can tell when things look shit, like in Justice League. That was a rush movie, so that was blatant. So, yes, I was very happy with the film and didn't see any issues with CGI, VFX, or anything like that. Man, that's just me. I'm all for analysis, but I think sometimes you can look too deeply into things. Bad Super, there is only one scene that I knew was CGI because I know it couldn't have been done otherwise. But other than that, I never knew. Yeah, didn't notice. It all looked great to me. It works. The film works. It's great. It's exactly how Matt wanted to pull the movie off. And yeah, I'm happy with it. But I am fed up with CGI skies, with CGI backgrounds in the real world, CGI walls. There's no need for any of that. If you need to do a UFO, use CGI. If a man needs to fly or a woman needs to fly or whoever, then use CGI. Do you know what I mean? They overuse it today. Children, what's the latest on the Superman film? There's no updates at the moment. Look, Warner Brothers Discovery haven't greenlit the Golden Age movie. That's the script. That's the pitch. It hasn't been greenlit yet. As soon as I know more about it, as soon as more comes out, we will discuss it on this channel. I promise you. Children, they need to. Yes, they need to. They need to. Look, it's a great idea. And things are changing since Discovery have been here. Because first it was just a black Superman movie, a black Clark Kent movie. Then, now all of a sudden, it leaves space for Henry Cavill's Superman in the future. It's not necessarily a black Superman. It probably will be a black Superman because they're going to use his alien heritage as commentary towards racism. So they're probably going to be sneaky and put a black guy in there. So it's like, oh, they may be being racist to the alien, but he's black, you see, so it works. Do you get what I mean? Carl Williams, Marvel and DC has their first 2 Latino character leads coming out in the next 2 years, but my money is and will be on Blue Beetle. I think Blue Beetle will be fabulous. I think these DC movies will be good. I don't necessarily think the quality of the movies is the problem at DC. Try a trilogy. We need this film in the next 3 years. Are you talking about Golden Age Superman? Yes. We need a Superman movie as soon as possible. I am enjoying Superman and Lois. Thankfully, as a Superman fan, I at least have that. It's a very good adaptation of Superman, and it's fresh. That's what I like about it. Of course, Snyder fans just think it's a rip-off towards the DCEU. It's not. It uses elements of everything, a bit like Smallville used to do. So you get elements of the Snyderverse, you get elements of Smallville, because Superman and Lois is a Superman TV show set in Smallville. But Super, I like when they only use CGI to enhance the real world. I will make an exception for Snyder, though. My opinion is you shouldn't need CGI for a blue sky. You shouldn't need CGI for anything real. It should only be for creatures, things you can't do in camera. That is impossible to do in camera. That's my opinion on it. They're overusing CGI too much. I mean, they were all ready to criticize George Lucas in the prequels. I mean, he used it like a new toy, didn't he? Jojo, Bat Super, yes, Snyder grounds things pretty well. I want to see the ending to his Nightmare Future. His Nightmare Future is terrific, especially in Batman versus Superman in IMAX. Amazing, simply amazing. He uses CGI like a paintbrush. And it really is beautiful, it really is. Trilogy, but from what I've seen, seems Superman and Darkseid kill them off. Well, if you see the rest of them, you'll see what they do. They use timey-wimey time travel to change things. Bat Super, I was surprised that the Bat monster in Bruce's Nightmare in BVS was a man in a suit. I thought it was all CGI until I saw behind the scenes. I didn't know that either. It looks like CGI. That's how good Snyder is. Snyder, I mean, now he's using other technology for Rebel Moon. He's not going to do so much CGI in Rebel Moon. That's interesting. He's going to do a lot of stop motion animatics as well. Now, stop motion is very interesting because that's what George used for the original Star Wars movies because there was no CGI. So he's such a big Star Wars fan, he wants to make it like George originally made his Star Wars, even though Rebel Moon isn't Star Wars. That's interesting. George, yeah, but the Snyderverse won't continue and Flash is now in another universe. I wouldn't say it's not going to continue yet. I'm still not convinced that's the case. So we will see. We will see what's going on. I never write off anything in this industry. Anything's possible. People thought they'd never get the Snyder Cut, and they did. So let's wait and see before we write that off completely. You could be right. Who knows? John, was you a fan of the X-Men animated series back in the 90s? Never saw it. I was more of an Incredible Hulk animated fan of the 80s, and when he used to go Hulk mad. And I loved Spider-Man and his amazing friends. But, yeah, I didn't really take much notice of that one. I didn't really know X-Men existed back then. I only knew they existed once I saw Bryan Singer's movies. And he did a great job with them. Bat Super, that's going to be great to see what a Snyder film will look like using other types of special effects. I think that will be really interesting. It will. Let's hope Netflix doesn't go bankrupt before then. I mean, the downfall of Netflix. I mean, wow. I mean, listen, they look like they knew what they were doing, but they're in so much debt and they overspent. They tried to become the biggest studio in Hollywood, and you can't do that. You're never beating Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers are an incompetent studio, but they're still one of the biggest studios in Hollywood. That just shows you how big they are. They can be incompetent for years, for over a decade, and still be huger. And Netflix tried to overtake the big boys, and it looks like they're going to bankrupt themselves doing that. I don't think streaming is as much of the future as people and the industry believes it is. I think it's something that people are going to get slowly pissed off with and bored with. And there's so many of them, and people can't afford them all. That's another problem. So some were always going to go by the wayside, but nobody thought one of those would be Netflix. Right, I'm going to read one more comment before I sign off for tonight. It's been a great live. JDTSB, hello. How late am I? You're an hour late. You'll have to rewatch the video. I'll be signing off in a minute. If you've got anything relevant to say it now before I go. Hunter Icky, Movies TV Man, what is your thoughts on WBD trying to sell their video game studios to other video game companies? Well, that's simple. They're not. Bat Super, we will need a super app to manage all the streaming apps. Exactly. It's a joke. Nobody can afford all of them. They will always get a fucking kill each other by doing this because this is what they do. This is what these industries do. They jump on bandwagons. Yeah, Hunter, we had this rumor with AT&T last year. They never did it, and I don't see Discovery doing this either. John, did you watch the Netflix series Orange is the New Black? It was very similar to Bad Girls. I did try to get into it, but it's too American for me. Bad Girls is far superior, in my opinion. I mean, Bad Girls, you had Fenner, you had Dockley. I mean, I just prefer the characters. And even the original Prisoner Cell Blockade, I think, is better than Orange is the New Black. Because unfortunately, Hollywood are too much on the nose. I mean, a woman's prison drama isn't groundbreaking. They didn't create it. Trill J, Bat Super, I miss the days where it was just theatre, television, physical and digital copy, not with all this streaming so much, but I can evolve. Well, you won't need to evolve because it's not going to last. It won't last past 10 years. It's already taking a nosedive. John, I preferred Bad Girls. Yeah, Bad Girls was brilliant. Prisoner Cell Blockade was brilliant. Even the rebooted Prisoner Cell Blockade, Prisoner Wentworth they did was a lot better for me than Orange is the New Black. There's some things that Americans can't do. And, you know, everyone, you know, acts like Orange is the New Black was a groundbreaking show. But it's actually just jumping on the bandwagon of other things that come before it. Typical America. It's like we've got Coronation Street, Emmerdale and Hollyoaks, and they were coming up with things like Sunset Beach and Santa Barbara. Sunset Beach, who actually had a woman take a turkey baster, take her juices and take a man's sperm and put it inside her so she can get pregnant. That's the level of American creativity. Always think about that for a minute. JDTSB, still prefer my physical copies over the streaming. Yes, It's a much more personal experience, and they can't fuck with your physical copies. Bat Super, I'm always impressed whenever I see a scene from Kubrick's 2001. Oh, I mean, Kubrick was a genius, wasn't it? I mean, these directors today don't hold a candle. Taika Waititi, who thinks he's a big deal. Mate, you bullshitted yourself, you bullshitted your way through getting director's work. You admitted it. I would have loved to have seen Kubrick's version of AI. Oh, yeah. Bat Super Trilogy, I miss it too. It would be easier if it was all on one app. But unfortunately, we have 15 streaming services and video on demand apps. It's like what happened when we got all these different kind of digital set-top boxes. We had Sky, Virgin, BT, and I said it. They can't all survive. But with this, it's even worse. HBO Max, and they all do different things, which makes it worse. If you don't get them, you don't have access. So you've got HBO Max, Disney Plus, Netflix, Now TV, BBC iPlayer, ITV Play. I mean, at least the like things like ITV Play and BBC iPlayer are free. But all this other stuff is a nonsense. Hulu, Paramount Plus, it's insane. They all jump on the same bandwagon. One more comment, and I'm afraid I'm going to be out of here. One more comment. So let's finish off this vote for tonight. Do we want timely commentary in superhero movies? 19 votes. Yes, 68%. No, 32%. So let's finish that off. Trill J, Bat Super, yeah. Then you got streaming apps that want you to pay for movies. Well, what am I paying you for? Exactly. And that's the thing why Netflix is dying, because most of their stuff isn't rewatchable. Their originals aren't rewatchable in the most part. Bat Super, if everything was on iTunes and Google Play, it would be great. Streaming, rental, and buy. All shows and films. Yeah, but that's just two companies. You're not going to expect the other companies just to let them do it, right? So there will be no logic to that. I'm old-fashioned. I like to see things on my telly. One more comment. Bat Super Trill-J, yeah, like I ain't gonna pay for all that, ha ha ha. Trill-J Mick, is it fair to say Batman takes the year far? Let me say that again. Trill-J Mick, is it fair to say that Batman takes the year far as best movie? So far, it's the best comic book movie for sure. It's an amazing movie. Obviously, we haven't had much this year. We're going to see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. We're going to see a couple of other MCU films. We've got the DC films at the end of the year. I certainly think it will be better than the other DC films, but who knows? Let's see what happens by the end of the year. Bat Super, I know it's unrealistic, but I still wish it was reality. JDT SB. Universal have a better model. No streaming, just sell to other services. That's true. Universal can't be bothered because they know it's got no longevity to it. This has been Movies TV Mad Live. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this perfection. And I'll see you again tomorrow morning for the DCEU Daily. And of course, I'll be here again, same bat place, same bat channel for Movies TV Mad Live. So until we see each other again, goodbye, au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Thank you everyone for coming in. A good little small stream, few people. We kept the chat going. Thanks for the 10 likes. Thanks for voting on the poll. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the support. And I'll see you again tomorrow for the DCEU Daily. Hopefully we've got some big news to bring to you. Until then, goodbye.